So, today the new camera news dropped a small report that honestly caught my attention in a way that most routine leaks don't. Because it wasn't flashy or packed with obvious specs, but instead raised more questions than answers, which is usually where the really interesting stuff lives. And this time it's centered around DJI quietly filing paperwork for a new accessory referred to as the Osmo FrameTap, a name that on its own doesn't really tell us much. But the strange thing is that beyond the name showing up in FCC filings, there's basically nothing else to go on. No renders floating around on social media, no grainy factory photos, no blurry certification images, nothing that lets us visualize what this thing even is. So we're left guessing whether it has a screen, whether it uses physical buttons, whether it's touch-based, or whether it's just an ultra-minimal wireless remote meant to disappear into a pocket. And while that mystery is fun on the surface, the real question isn't about its design at all. It's about why DJI would bother making a standalone accessory like this in the first place. Because historically, when DJI introduces a new remote or control-focused add-on, it usually signals a deeper shift in how they expect people to interact with their cameras, not just a minor quality-of-life improvement. And that's where this suddenly ties back into the broader discussion we've been having about the Osmo Pocket 4, and the idea that this next generation might not be as simple or as singular as past releases. Because instead of being just one updated model with slightly better specs, there's a growing theory that DJI could be planning to split the Pocket 4 lineup into multiple versions. And this little frame tab accessory kind of pours fuel all over that idea. Since a separate remote doesn't make much sense if the camera itself is still designed to be an all-in-one, self-contained device. But it makes a lot more sense if at least one version of the Pocket 4 is meant to be used more flexibly, more modularly, or even at a distance. And one concept that's gaining traction is that DJI could be creating two distinct Pocket 4 experiences, one aimed squarely at casual creators, vloggers, and everyday users who just want something simple, compact, and intuitive, and another version aimed at power users, enthusiasts, and maybe even professionals who want more control, more configuration options, and more advanced shooting setups. And if that's the case, then a dedicated remote or control interface suddenly becomes a very logical piece of the puzzle, especially if the more advanced version supports things like external mounting, multi-camera workflows, advanced tracking modes, higher-end codecs, or shooting scenarios where touching the camera directly isn't practical or even possible. And this could also help explain why some of the leaks we've seen so far haven't quite lined up with each other. Because there have been reports of slightly different dimensions, different housing designs, different button placements, and instead of assuming those leaks contradict each other or that some of them are wrong, it's entirely possible that they're all accurate but just referring to different versions of the same product family, which would actually be a pretty smart move on DJI's part, since it allows them to serve multiple audiences without forcing one compromise-heavy design on everyone. And when you look at the timing of all this, it starts to feel even more intentional, because we're seeing regulatory filings, accessory references, and test hardware images all surfacing within a relatively short window. And that clustering usually means a product is deep into its final development phase rather than still being conceptual, since companies typically don't bother filing accessories or submitting devices for certification unless they're confident the core product is close to launch. And even though rumored release dates keep shifting around, sometimes pointing to late fall, sometimes to early winter, the overall pattern still suggests that we're not very far away from an official announcement. And that brings us to the more complicated and frankly more frustrating part of the conversation, which is what happens with the Pocket 4 in the United States. Because while international launches might be relatively straightforward, the US market is currently wrapped up in regulatory uncertainty when it comes to DJI. And whether or not the Pocket 4 actually ends up being widely available, there could depend less on the product itself and more on timing, paperwork, and political decisions. Since if DJI manages to secure approvals and get inventory shipped into US retailers before the December cutoff tied to ongoing audits and regulatory reviews, there's a decent chance consumers could see it hit shelves like any other release. But if that audit doesn't go DJI's way, regulators could add the company to the FCC's covered list, which would make importing new DJI products into the US extremely difficult, if not outright impossible, at least through official channels. And even in a scenario where the Pocket 4 technically clears FCC requirements, many major retailers might still be hesitant to stock large quantities due to the uncertainty and potential risk, choosing instead to wait and see how the political and regulatory situation plays out, which could lead to limited availability, higher prices, or delayed releases compared to other regions. And all of that adds an extra layer of tension to what would otherwise be a pretty straightforward product launch. Because for creators in the US, the question isn't just what the Pocket 4 can do or how much it costs, but whether they'll even be able to buy it easily at all. And yet, despite all of that uncertainty, one thing feels increasingly clear the more you look at the leaks: filings and accessory hints. And that's that DJI isn't just doing a simple spec bump this time around. They're not just swapping in a new sensor, adding a bit more stabilization, and calling it a day. But instead, they seem to be rethinking how people actually use the Pocket as a tool, how it fits into different workflows, and how flexible it can be depending on the user's needs. Whether that means introducing multiple models, modular accessories, or new ways to control and interact with the camera. And that kind of shift is honestly far more interesting than a routine refresh, because it suggests DJI is paying attention to how the creator landscape has evolved, how people are using these tiny cameras in more complex setups, and how a product that started out as a simple handheld gimbal camera might be growing into something more versatile and more segmented. And if the Osmo FrameTap ends up being a key part of that vision, it could represent a small but meaningful signal that the Pocket line is entering a new phase, one where it's no longer just about pocketability, but about adaptability, control, and choice. And whether or not all of that comes together cleanly, especially in markets like the US, remains to be seen. But either way, it's clear that something bigger is happening behind the scenes than just another yearly update. And that alone makes the Pocket 4 story worth paying close attention to. Because when a company like DJI starts quietly laying groundwork with accessories and regulatory filings, it's usually because they're preparing to change more than just the numbers on a spec sheet. And that's where things get genuinely exciting. Peace.